Hello, everybody. Today we're going to talk about something called a Q-bid raise. It's my absolute favorite bidding agreement, and we'll see shortly why that is the case. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Alrighty, Q-bid raises. What is a Q-bid raise? Well, let's look at an example. Partner opens a heart, and the next person bids a spade, and then you bid two spades. This is called a Q bid. When you bid the opponent's suit, it's called a Q bid. And in this context, what it is saying in English is, hey, partner, I'm raising your suit and I have a good raise. I've got an invitational or better raise of your suit. Invitational or better means 11 or more support points. Some people will do it with, quote, a good 10. Um, I use 11 as my cutoff point. Why do I love this? Well, we'll look at this in a moment, but if you think about it for a moment, one heart, one spade, you could have bid two hearts to raise partner's suit. And that would say you have a fairly minimal raise, 6 to 10. This way, you're announcing to partner that you've got a good raise, 11 or more support points. And also notice, we'll talk about this a bit later, it's kind of a problem for the opponents because maybe this guy sitting south um, wanted to bid two spades. Well, he can't anymore. Okay, let's look at some more examples. Um, Opponent opens a heart, your partner overcalls a spade. Next person passes, it's your turn to bid. If you have spade support and you have a good hand, an invitational or better hand, 11 or more support points, you can bid two hearts. Two spades would be a fairly minimal raise. Two hearts is a good raise. One heart, one spade. Gosh, this time the opponent isn't quiet. They bid two hearts. You can still Q bid. You can bid three hearts to say, hey, partner, I've got 11 or more support points and we have a fit in your suit. And the last example we're going to look at today is partner opens a heart and then the opponent preempts three diamonds. Yuck. Well, you could bid four diamonds. And what are you saying here? Hey, partner, I'm raising your suit. We'll talk about this in more detail later. I'm raising your suit. I could have just bid three hearts to compete. I could have jumped to game if I thought we were going to make game. I'm saying that we've got to fit in hearts. I wasn't willing to just sign off in game. I'm interested in more. So this slide gives you a really good feel for how wonderful Q-bid raises are. Why do we love them? Again, they're very descriptive and they often interfere with the opponent's bidding. We looked at this example, partner opens a heart, next person bids a spade, and you bid two spades. You're showing an invitational or better raise of spades. Notice that you've caused a bit of a problem for South if South had planned to make a two spade raise, a weak raise. Do they have enough oomph to bid three? I don't know. So you've caused them some problems and you've been really descriptive. And the best part about it is any other raise that you make is weaker than 11 points. So in this situation, you could have done several other things. You could have bid two hearts. That would have said, hey, partner, we have a heart fit, but I'm fairly minimal. I'm weaker than 11. I probably have like 6 to 10. Maybe you've got a weak freak hand. You've got a relatively weak hand, you have five card support, and you have a singleton or void somewhere. If North had passed, you would have jumped to four hearts to say, hey, partner, I got a weak freak bid. You can still do that. And a wonderful bid here is a jump to three hearts would say you're too weak to make a Q-bid raise, but you've got at least four hearts and a singleton or a void. So you've interfered with the opponent's bidding. These raises that you could have made are each extremely descriptive. They limit your hand so partner will know how high to bid. The reason that these bids are so clearly defined is anything stronger, you would have made the Q bid raise. So the reason I love the Q bid raise is A, it's very descriptive, but B, it lets you use all these other raises, direct raises, in a really natural, clear fashion. Well, what happens after a Q bid raise? Well, it's actually really easy to bid after a Q bid raise. A heart, a spade, two spades. Hey, partner, I have an invitational or better raise of hearts. I have at least 11 support points. It's really easy for opener to know what to do. Let's imagine that the next person passes. What does opener do? Well, if they have a minimum opener, they just bid three hearts. If they have a decent opener, maybe 14, they know you have 11. If they have 14, that's 25, and it's enough for game, so they can jump to game. With a minimum hand, they just bid minimally. With a slightly stronger hand, they bid game. Maybe partner has a phenomenal hand, and they would explore slam. They'd control bid, they'd bid 14, 30, 4 no trump. It's easy for opener. It's also really easy for responder. Responder is going to have one of two kinds of hands. One, an invitational raise. I count this as 10 high card points plus one in shortness. You've got a heart fit. It's 11 points. I'm going to bid two spades with this hand. Let's make the hand a little better. All I did was add in the king of spades. Now I have 13 high card points and one for shortness. I'm also very happy that my king of spades lies behind the one spade bidder. He's probably got the ace, so the king is probably going to be good for a trick. Responder has one of these two hands, invitational raise or game raise. Suppose opener bids three hearts, saying, hey, I know you have 11, but I don't have enough to bid game. I'm weaker than that. Well, with an invitational raise, you just pass. But if you know that you need to get to game, you just bid game. So really easy to bid after a Q bid raise for both the opener and for the responder. Here's a slide to show you what I was trying to express. Q bid raises let you tell partner which hand you hold. A heart, a spade. Let's imagine several different supporting hands you might have. Six high card points, one for shortness is 7. You do have a heart fit, but it's a minimal raise of hearts. Let's make the hand a little bit better. I added in the ace of clubs. Now we have 10 high card points and one for shortness. This is now 11 points. It's an invitational raise. And as on the last slide, let me add in the king of spades. Now we've got 13 high, one for shortness is 14. Now you know you have the strength for game. I want to remind you about this hand. Opener bid a heart. You have 5 card support. You have shortness in spades. So if partner has any spade losers, she's going to be able to trump them after the first round of spades. This is a classic weak freak raise. You have a hand that's weak, 5 card support or longer, and a singleton or avoid somewhere. And then here's an interesting hand, 3, 4, 5, 6 high card points, 3 for shortness is 9. It's not invitational strength, but it does have 4 trumps, and it has some roughing values, some ability to rough in your short suit. So this is a really interesting hand. Well, look what the Q bid raise lets us do. With this first hand, the minimal one, we just bid 2 hearts. With an invitational raise or a game strength raise, we bid 2 spades. That's the Q bid raise. With a weak freak, we jump to 4 hearts. If you don't have the weak freak, I'm sorry, if you don't have the Q bid raise, how the heck do you describe this upper hand on the right? I guess you bid 2 clubs. That'll be forcing, and then you can tell partner more later. It's a lot better to be able to bid 2 spades. Gets in the way of the opponents, crystal clear description to partner. And this one on the lower left is really interesting. I suggest that you agree to jump to three hearts with this hand. If North had passed, one heart, three hearts is the classic limit raise. 11 to 12 support points, four card support or longer. But in this context, because we now have the Q-bid raise available, we have a really wonderful way to describe this hand. We bid three hearts, gets in the way of the opponents, really descriptive to partner. So again, the beauty of the Q-bid raise is it lets you tell partner which of all these different kinds of supporting hands you hold. Side comment, a Q-bid raise promises three card support or longer. Better players may have a way to distinguish between three card support and four card support. I don't. A Q-bid raise is very helpful when an opponent preempts. We looked at one of these examples before. One spade, the opponent overcalls three clubs. You can bid four clubs. Well, a couple of different things are going on here. You've told partner, hey, I agree on your spade suit. We have a spade fit. And you've told partner, we're going to game at least. Because heck, you've bid at the four level, right? Partner can't bid three spades. You're already up at the four level. And what you've said here is I have a game forcing spade raise with interest in more than game. Why do I say that? Well, you could have bid three spades, which would have been just a weak raise competing for the bidding. Or you could have jumped to four spades, which would have shown game strength, but little or no slam interest. So by bidding the four clubs, you're saying, hey, partner, we're going to game. I'm not really ready to stop. I have a good hand. This is why I love Q-bid raises. Opener might do one of several things. Opener might sign off in four spades. Opener might bid four no trump, asking key cards. Opener might make a control bid, four diamonds or four hearts, looking for slam. And then even if opener signs off, if you have a really good hand, you might explore slam. More likely you're going to pass, but who knows if you have a really good hand. So Q-bid raises are wonderful when the opponents preempt. Reiterating something we saw on an earlier slide, you can make a Q-bid raise of partners overcall. A heart, a spade, pass. You can bid two hearts. What does that say? It says, hey, partner, I'm agreeing on spades as trump. I have invitational support or better. Partner can do one of many, many things. Partner could sign off in two spades. Partner could jump to three spades, inviting game. I'm assuming that the opponent passes. Partner could sign off in two spades. Partner could invite game by jumping to three spades. Partner, knowing you have 11, maybe partner's got 14. Partner could go ahead and jump all the way to four spades. And in fact, partner, if she's interested in slam, could make control bids or bid for no trump. What does this mean? This again means that we can use two spades here as a weak raise. We can use four spades here as a weak freak raise. And in between, agreement I really like, a jump to three spades here would say, hey, I'm relatively weak. I didn't make a Q-bid raise, but I have four or more of your trump and I have a singleton or a void. So we're probably safe at the three level. And boy, that puts a lot of pressure on the opener. And it's very descriptive. Partner might look at her hand and say, hey, I think we can make game. Extremely descriptive bids. I love them. So recap, bidding the opponent's suit after partner has bid shows an invitational or better raise of partner's suit. Invitational or better means at least 11 support points. The four examples we looked at early on, a heart, a spade, you bid two spades. I'm agreeing on hearts as trump. We have a fit. I have at least 11 support points. Partner opens a heart. Next person bids three diamonds. You bid four diamonds. You're saying, hey, we're agreed on hearts. I could have just bid four hearts. Game. but I bid four diamonds instead. I've forced us up to the four level. So I know we need to get the game. I must be interested in going further. A heart, a spade, pass, two hearts. You're giving an 11 point or better raise of partner spade suit. And even if the second opponent gets into the auction, bids two hearts, you could bid three hearts and say, partner, I have 11 or more points in support of your suit. This hand, again, could be really huge. It's at least 11, but it could be way bigger than that. And really importantly, any direct raise of the heart suit, two hearts, four hearts, three hearts, any of those is a limited strength hand. And that's true over here, and it's true over here. So the bid is incredibly descriptive. And reiterating in this one on the lower left, you could have bid three hearts if you just wanted to compete but didn't know about getting to game. You could have bid four hearts if you were certain you had game strength, but you weren't interested in more. By Q bidding four diamonds, you're saying, hey, we have a heart fit, we're going to game, maybe we have more. I think we might have more. And just as a PS, there are occasions where you bid the opponent's suit for a different reason than raising partner. Usually you're asking for a stopper or asking for more information. Well, what the heck do I mean? Partner opens a diamond, next person bids a heart. You've got this lovely hand. I see a five card spade suit. I count 13 high, one for length in spades. I know we need to get to game, but I have no idea where. Well, I'll start describing my hand by bidding a spade. Notice that in this situation, that promises at least five spades because the overcall was a heart. With exactly four spades, you'd make a negative double. So you're promising at least five spades. Let's imagine that partner bids two diamonds. Okay, what's going on? Where do we want to be? I want to be in game, but I don't know where. I don't know what to do, but I want to learn more about partner's hand, so I bid two hearts. I'm Q bidding the opponent's suit, but in this context, it's not a raise. It's just saying, hey, I'm forcing you to bid more. Please tell me more about your hand. I'm not ready to stop. And even if you've never discussed this with partner, partner will figure it out. What the heck? What does two hearts mean? Well, I have to say something. We can't declare in two hearts. Let me tell partner the most interesting and useful thing about my hand. So, for example, opener with a heart stopper could bid two no trump. You would happily continue to three no trump. Remember, opener only, oh, I have to change this slide. Opener could bid two spades to say I have exactly two spades. She could have raised you initially with three spades because you promised five. She could bid two spades to say I have exactly two spades. And I think that's denying a heart stopper because her top priority of things to tell you would clearly be, hey, I've got a heart stopper, we could play in no trump. So I'll fix that slide before I post it. And just as a reminder, these are the five hands that we looked at before: a minimal raise, a weak freak raise, a minimal raise with four trump and some roughing values. With those hands, you make direct raises in the suit. But with an invitational raise or a game strength raise, you just bid the opponent's suit. It's called a Q bid, and it says, hey, I have a good raise for you, suit 11 plus. So here you would bid two spades with these two hands. And that's the story. Thanks very much.